If you're looking for an introduction, then cool fucking ranch, because you're not getting it. Regardless, you guys should know, despite the fact that I get about 2 to 3 views at a time, that I normally talk about two to three things on this here channel. And today we're going to be covering the DoorDash girl and a little surprise. Something that most people don't talk about or understand, but we'll get there when we get there. But first, the DoorDash girl, right? So to catch you up to speed, and this is what I know, there was a lady who works for DoorDash, and if you don't know what DoorDash is, it's essentially the American version of like Uber Eats, and even then it's a bad like explanation, because a bad comparison I should say, because they also have Uber Eats, but like that's the closest reference I could give you. Yeah, so you order food and someone drives to your home and gives you the food that you ordered, right? And there's a woman, I should stop calling her a girl, but regardless, there's a woman who does or used to work for DoorDash. And the reason I say used to is because she got fired, right? Now, for context, this lady drove over to a guy's place as a worker, of course. The guy had ordered something from DoorDash, and she obliged as it is her job. She drove to this guy's house, and when she got there, she didn't have her phone out originally. Nothing was suspicious, and then she went up to the doorstep, and when she got there, she realized that the door to this guy's house was slightly cracked. And when she looked inside, that's when she pulled out her phone and started recording, because the guy was inside, but booty ass naked. We're not talking a pair of socks, nyana. We're not talking like a shirt and everything below that is exposed. We're talking top to bottom. Top, like the only thing that was missing is a skeleton. This is how naked this person was. The guy was, who ordered the DoorDash. Now, it's empirical evidence, right? There's an aggressor and a victim. And in this case, the victim is the poor lady who works for DoorDash, and the aggressor is the guy that thought it would be funny or sexual, or not sexual, but attractive to be that sexual and that revealing to a lady that's on the job, right? Like, never mind the fact that that's not attractive in the slightest. And if that's what he was hoping for, that's what he was aiming for. But like, I'm on the job, and I don't want to get flashed in any instance, let alone when I'm on the clock, right? Anyway, she pulls out her phone at this point in time when she gets to the door, looks inside, and the guy's naked. Now, she doesn't post this video, not yet, at least. She originally, I think, goes to to DoorDash and reports this type of behavior, and DoorDash, instead of lending support, my phone's frozen, give it a second. Anyway, instead of DoorDash, the company, giving this lady support, i.e. therapy, i.e. money for therapy, i.e. what have you, right? Holding this guy accountable, because what he did was sexual harassment, maybe even sexual abuse, you might argue, right? Instead of doing any of that privately within the company, or at least publicly going out and saying there's a lady who got harassed by this guy, and that's not what we stand for, that's not what we support, so we wish her well, and she's still in the company, but we wish her well, and we're trying to find the perpetrator. DoorDash instead decided to fire the girl, and then the girl went on TikTok before she posted the video of the guy being naked, and She essentially told us what I'm telling you right now. She got fired for what I just told you, the reason I just gave you being she wanted to hold someone accountable for flashing her, and instead DoorDash decided to fire her. Now, this is what we know, or at least I know. So I've given you the 411, and I'm gonna tell you how I feel. It's this like I'm. It's really gonna be a short section, but I feel disgusted, right? Not just by the guy who did that. That is disgusting on its own, but mostly for the company. Because some people you can control, right? They are sex pests, they are pedophiles, rapists, sexual abusers, thieves, murderers, you name it. People are who they are. Some people cannot be reformed, and I believe people who do sexual crimes or sex adjacent crimes have little to no chance of being reformed. Does that absolve him of anything? Nope. However, I'm more angry at in fact, you could say that I'm fully angry at the guy and fully angry at the company. Because why would you not at least pretend to be on this girl's side? At least pretend, save face. Even if you don't feel that way, at least save face. But instead, you chose to do what most companies, most capitalists do, and fire anybody that complained. Hey, the toilets are not enough. And most of them are clogged. People have been shitting the entire day. I need to go take a shit. You're fired. Hey, my lunch break can be 30 minutes. Not 30 minutes, 15 minutes. Can you extend it by another 15 minutes so I can eat? Fired. Hey, I don't like the fact that my manager drinks all day on the job. So you don't like my nephew? Fired. Right? That's just capitalism. And a symptom of capitalism up to this far, and it will continue this way, is patriarchy, right? And yeah, it isn't just companies, even government organizations, especially the police and the military. It's boys protecting boys. There can be, I usually use this example. There's a subordinate, and then there's a supervisor. There's someone on top and someone at the bottom. The police, like the lieutenant at the bottom, has to take a particular crime or particular crime seriously, even if it's just allegations or suspicions, i.e. sexual assault, sexual abuse, femicide, what have you. Instead, they choose to ignore these problems because that's a woman's problem, that's not mine. And then the supervisors know what this person is doing is wrong, but instead they choose to compromise their position and protect the person who was so negligent and disregarded a person's safety, a person's life. These are just boys being boys within any company. Am I saying it's right? No. Am I saying we should just accept it? No. But I'm saying this is part of patriarchy. Boys protecting boys, men protecting men. Men protecting anything but a woman. I'll protect my company, I'll protect my car, I'll protect my assets. But a woman, unless that woman is my daughter, mother, or wife, fuck them. Right? That is what can be learned from this situation. And with that being said, let me not waste too much of your time. We move on to the second subject, which is a recent quote, by President Cyril Ramaphosa, right? Now, for context, this is not a quote that he came up with himself, but this is a quote that is very, very problematic because of its origins and implications. Now, excuse my French for two reasons. Number one, I don't speak French. And number two, white people have been pretty disrespectful about like black people's name and black people's names and indigenous people's names. So this name is said to be originated by one Miss John Jacques Rousseau in like 1700s France. And the quote is, "Let them eat cake." Now, the definition, the implication, there are two implications. So it's either one, two, or the other. Not one, two, or the other. One, two, or both, right? And this phrase is essentially means I am a leader in whatever capacity, a king, a president, a governor, a minister, a premier, prime minister, you name it. I am in charge of a majority of people's life in a certain area, region, country, continent, what have you, right? And my people, who I'm supposed to be protecting and serving, as the government says they do, come to me and they're like, hey, there's a bread shortage. And at the end of the day, we can't have bread shortages. We're hungry. We're hungry. Essentially, it can be boiled down to that. We're hungry. Can you do something about our hunger? Because thus far, anytime we try to do anything about our own hunger, you suppress us, right? So can you do anything about our hunger as someone in power, as someone with influence, as someone with money and resources? And I tell my people, my subordinates, eat cake. Or someone comes to me and tells me that my subordinates need food. And I tell this person, my advisor, hey, let them eat cake. Right? What that means is, one, they tell me that they need bread. And there is no bread. So I'm like, go eat cake then. Which is disregarding the people's needs. Right? You're basically dismissing them. There's no bread, go eat cake. There's no water, go drink champagne. Right? It's disregarding people. It's showing them that you don't take them into consideration. And in South Africa, we know that many are people, especially the lower class. Any person that falls into the lower class in any hierarchy, they're not really taken care of, especially by the government. Patriarchy is a hierarchy. Women, gay people, queer people, I should say, are not taken into account. It's always men, because they're at the top of the patriarchy. The hierarchy that is patriarchy. Capitalism, the lower class, working class, unemployed. Nobody gives a shit. You get like your 350, 370, and that's supposed to last you the entire month as someone who is unemployed. That's why people just drink away